to the interstate are still closed. No word on when I-70 East will reopen. Stay with NBC4 on air and online for updates.
It just started coming in. It came up so fast. Everything's floating out of the house.
But you're okay. You're okay.
After getting slammed by storms this morning, fear and frustration in the small village of Hebron has turned to resilience.
It's been a tragedy, but we're making the best of it right now.
At least 144 homes were affected by early morning flash flooding over in Licking County. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cabot Ray.
I'm Colleen Marshall. Thanks for joining us tonight. The water rose so quickly that some people barely had enough time to put on their shoes and get out, leaving precious belongings behind. Tonight, the water has begun to recede, and as NBC4's Tom Brockman tells us, now an entire community is left to assess the damage and try to figure out what's next.
The sun sets over Hebron, and a day that started with flooding ends with mopping, squeegeeing, and overall exhaustion.
We had almost 2 foot of water in here.
Mud now cakes the floors of Glenna Jones's restaurant, Clay's Cafe.
I would say product-wise, we've lost about $5,000. Business-wise, I have no clue when we're going to be able to open back up.
The New Life baby pantry down the street was hit just as hard.
This was all completely covered in water.
A dumpster has been filled with baby food, diapers, and formula. Scott Walters with the pantry was hoping to give away, not throw away.
But it's going to be, if I was going to guess, maybe $5,000, that we've actually just had to just throw in the dumpster.
And if there's one word to describe exactly what the folks who live here are dealing with, it's got to be a flat-out mess. But could this have been prevented? Could man have been better prepared for Mother Nature? We asked Licking County Emergency Management Agency Director Jeff Walker. Could this in any way have been prevented?
Oh, wow. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't think so. It's just one of those kind of things. We see that happen in a lot of places where you get that just isolated area where there's a shower and it dumps a lot of water.
However, Walker says they are going to look at whether anything structurally could have been done to keep this from occurring. He says they're also going to evaluate their response to the flooding. Meantime, William Burge, whose home was damaged, is spending the night in the shelter set up by the Red Cross outside town.
I got my bed down there, but it's great. These people have been really kind.
One thing people keep telling us here is how thankful they are for this community. We've heard story after story of neighbor helping neighbor. Another thing that people keep telling us is how thankful they are that no one was hurt. Reporting in Hebron, Tom Brockman, NBC4.
They are resilient over that. We did some checking with the government's National Flood Insurance Protection Program about the cost of this flooding. The numbers are staggering. 6 inches of water inside a 1,000 square foot home furnished with typical household items can cost you nearly $21,000 in losses. And the higher the water, the higher the cost.
Flood insurance considered to be, of course, the best way to protect yourself from such devastating financial loss. It is available to homeowners and renters. The average policy costs, though, about $600 a year. But the price can vary depending on how much insurance you buy, what it covers, and your property's flood risk. For more information about residential flood insurance coverage, go to NBC4i.com and search flood insurance.
And the flooding in Licking County was caused by a storm that stalled over that area early this morning. A storm that produced several inches of rain, thunder, lightning, and hail. Alicia Dodrell of Granville sent us this picture of the hail. So much it almost looks like snow there. Now, if you have pictures that you would like to share with us, just go to NBC4i.com and search pics.
So could we be in for another round of storms and flooding? Storm Team 4's Ben Galber has a first look at the forecast, and it's headed our way, huh, Ben?
Colleen and Cabot, some good news is that the atmosphere didn't warm up as much today in Ohio as it did in Indiana, so the stronger storms in Indiana have weakened. We were in the 60s. It was close to 80 degrees. But look how close we are to some rough weather, though we are splitting the difference. Some very strong storms where there were tornadoes near Detroit diving into northern Ohio, but the main direction of motion here is off to the east or slightly south of east, so that should pass a little bit to our north. Another area of rain in Illinois is pushing eastbound, could bring us some rain for rush hour. The stronger storms in Indiana have faded, so hopefully we'll get at least some quiet hours. It will rain again later on tonight. This is the problem we had this morning. It was pouring at 5 in the morning. The storms had actually came through rather quietly through the Columbus area with 1/10 of an inch of rain. 2 hours later, it was still pouring in Licking County and from Mount Vernon down to Logan, and that's what we call training, storms moving over the same path over and over again.